Hello everybody, welcome back. Apologies for our slight little glitch. We will start again. Don't you love it when tech lets you down? My name's Jane Means. A very warm welcome to you today to the Burt's Bees event. And I'm joined by the lovely Shirley, who is going to be rapping alongside me. We are going to be rapping all sorts of things. And here is our lovely Shirley.
Hi everyone.
So I thought what we will do is we'll sort of cover all sorts of things from boxes to some awkward shapes. I don't know how far we got last time. I'm just going to do a super quick recap. But we're going to be wrapping in some fabric and looking at alternative sustainable wrapping options, tying in decorations because they really make a gift look sort of eye-catching and quite luxurious. I'm going to be using some Burt's Bees products. I'm going to be using other products as well. So feel free if you're at home to join in the fun. We're going to have an hour of wrapping all sorts you know, we'd love to see your creations online. So please tag both myself and Shirley in and Burt's Bees. It's at Burt's Bees UK. And the hashtag for today is hashtag Burt's Moments of Joy. So please share any content. We love to see what you're doing, and we will obviously be sharing our little bits as well. So Shirley, are you ready to start again?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so I went to John Lewis yesterday and I bought some new fabric, and you can't really see it because it's so tiny, but it's just it's like a cotton with a little tiny flower on it. It was £8.50 a metre, and I love it actually because with something like this you can just reuse it again and again and just keep passing it on. So fabric wrapping now is becoming increasingly popular because, you know, the next recipient will just reuse, and actually, you know how fabric is so durable. I mean, you could use it hundreds of times. So, you know, it may appear expensive initially, but obviously, you know, the longevity you're going to get out of it, it really will pay off. Now, I find the easiest way to cut a square, because I find squares are a really good thing to do, is to get your fabric, and I'm probably going to hide behind a curtain now. So I'm going to struggle to do this as well because I'm going to try and do it in the air with one hand. Right, as you see, curtain call, I'm still here. What I'm doing is a corner, and I'm literally just folding it in so you have a triangle. Now, you can't probably see it too well, but it literally sort of across here like that, and then up here. But that's the sort of the easiest way to cut a triangle. I actually don't cut fabric. I do a tiny little snip, and like you've probably seen it in haberdasheries, I just rip it. Okay, good way for if you're a bit cross about something, just to get that out of the way. And I also think there's a couple of things you can do. I mean, if you've got a sewing machine and if you've got the time, which I never have, you could obviously hem the edges, or you could do a little zigzag. What I like to do is actually fray the edges. I find it quite therapeutic that I can be watching my favourite film or TV, and you literally just sort of pull the threads like that, and you just get all these little bits of thread. I'm trying to sort of pull it with my black background so you can see it, but you just get a really nice sort of frayed edge. You can't really see it too much, but you just sort of see a little frayed edge there, and I love that. So Shirley, I'm not sure what products you've got. I have got I've got all sorts of bits surrounded by loveliness today. So I've got a little lip duo. Perfect gift. What I've got is my square. Now, in front of me, it's like a little diamond. Now, I know you can't see it too clearly because it's a cream fabric on a white table. But what I'll do is I'll keep lifting it up, and I pop the box into the middle. So I've virtually got a diamond of fabric and the box in the middle like that, okay? What I'll do is I'll lift it up as much as I can to the camera just to give everybody a close-up look. But initially I'll have to work on the table and go from there. And then all I do is sort of, if I call it the top and the bottom of the box, if I just lift it up, so there's the sort of the top here, there's the bottom, okay. All I'm going to do is with the fabric is just literally roll it over and just sort of cover the front. What I'll do is do this, Shirley, and then I'll lift it up so you can see. Just gone around. Now if I just lift this up, so I've literally just sort of gone around bit like that, if you can see. If I just turn it around, I've got this bit of fabric, can you see, sort of drooping below. That's, you know, I'm thinking, what on earth do I do with it? I find the easiest thing to do with that is actually fold it under, and then you've got a seam in the middle. Now I'll do this and then I'll lift it up to the camera and hopefully you can see what I've done. If I lift it up and close, so if you can see there, I've got a sort of a little seam. I'm just going to do it at varying angles because of the light. There's a little seam just in the middle like that. Okay, let's do it at little angles. And then when I lift it up, I've got these sort of two long sides. So if I just lift it up, it's a little bit like that. Okay. Shirley, how are you getting on, my darling?
Well, I used a silk scarf, so it is looking similar, but just like with the silk, you have to be a little bit careful because it's like
Yeah,
slippery. But
I
so
got it.
far, I'm getting there.
Brilliant. I love that scarf. My goodness, can I be your friend? I get the gift and the scarf as well.
Exactly.
Perfect. I mean, I love that. You get two gifts for the price of one. So, and
That's
all I'm doing
amazing.
is bringing the top up like that. Okay, bring it up like that. Okay, and then all I do is sort of bring the ends over and I virtually tie it at the top. Now, a little tip, because what I don't want is this happening. If I show you what I mean, I'm going to get really close. I've got sort of quite sort of the corners just here are sort of looking a little bit big and a bit awkward, and I'm sort of going over the edge a bit. So all I do with that is with my hands, I sort of literally sort of push the fabric in a bit. That's how I would describe it. Sort of push it in. So I'm effectively doing this where I'm just pushing it in a little bit like that. Okay, and then what I do, you've only got one pair of hands, so this is where the fun starts. Okay, so I'm sort of doing that. One side at a time, I'm bringing the end up, and then you should get a sort of a much neater finish at the side. I'm going to do the same the other side. So if I bring it really close to camera, it's just a really sort of neat fold like that. It's nearly like when you go into a smart restaurant, you know, when they've got the tablecloths that are really sort of pristine on the corners. I know I'm OCD, but I have to be. It's the same sort of thing with that. And then all I do is literally just tie it once, because we've got those two ends just there. So I'm going to tie it once like that. I mean, you could effectively leave it like that. I'm just going to go a little bit higher so you can see. I always love to add a little decoration. I don't know about you, Shirley. I just love those little elements, don't they? They make such a difference. So I'm going completely down the natural side because obviously we're wrapping natural products. So it'd be great to reflect the elements. So I have got some eucalyptus here. I mean, it was obviously fresh once, but it's just a little dried sprig there. So we could add that in. I've also got things like sticks, just on a country walk. I always take secateurs on a country walk. So I've got some little sticks like that. You could use cinnamon sticks. I mean, they smell lovely. So I've got those little cinnamon sticks just there. I actually like to cheat because, you know, you can't always buy cinnamon sticks. So what I do is get a stick like that. And where's my little spray? I've put my spray here somewhere. Here it is. It's right in front of me. And I've just bought a little fragrance, like a winter Christmassy fragrance. And you can effectively just spray the sticks and gives that cinnamon effect. What else have I got? I've got little cones there that I've done. I've even got one that I sprayed white. And if you've got a glue gun, you can just literally add some wire at the back of that. I'm just going to bring it really close to the camera there so you can see the back. But there's a little bit of glue at the back with just some craft wire, and I've sprayed it white. So they look fantastic tied on. I'm going to go down the super plain one and just pop in a little stick. So if you're adding a decoration, I literally pop it in now and then just tie it over again. So I'm just going to go over. Keep it super simple. Simple is best. I'm looking at it thinking it's a little bit plain. So I'm sort of looking at it now thinking I want to add to it a little bit more. So I'll probably add, what I'm doing is just picking the elements up. and seeing what works. I'm going to slot in my little cone like that. And then something like that, super simple. And, with the little cone in it as well, like that. So Shirley, how are you getting on? I bet yours looks amazing.
I'm getting there. Okay, I'm showing it to you right now. So I
Oh,
had like little flowers that I dried for my birthday in September, and just trying to get like this little flower in. And yeah, so far that's how it looks like.
beautiful. I love the colours in that scarf, that turquoise, and you've got the Burt's Bees yellow, and it's just
Yeah.
glorious. I love that. So well done. Brilliant. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So next one I'm going to do, I'm just going to unravel this and actually just use the same one because it'll be quicker. We've got quite a lot to get through. So anything to save time helps. So this one is a double knot. And I'm just checking that I've definitely got enough to do this. So you sort of start off like you did before. I'm also not worried that my scarf is sort of quite creased here because it's going to get retied again. So I'm really not too fussed. So again, you've got your fabric like a diamond. So my little diamond is here and the box is square like that. And then all I do is bring in what I call the sort of the top and the bottom like that. I'm just going to lower that so you can see the box there. Lift those up. And I literally knot that. So I tie it once, tie it twice. Okay, so I'm going to grab that end like that. Okay, and just go straight in. I'll stop and just bring it to the camera so you can see. So at the moment, it doesn't look very interesting at all. I've literally just tied it once. There's the two ends just there. Okay. And I'm going to tie it again. So tie it twice, you're effectively tying a knot. And hopefully you've got enough fabric. Now already I'm starting to fray and there's bits of cotton, but don't worry if that happens. We can just clean that all up right at the end. So I'm just going to do that. So don't worry if this is starting to look a bit messy, we can give it a clean up. So I've got to that sort of stage there where I've knotted it. And here's the two ends just there and there. Okay. And then all you do is the sort of the two remaining ends, these bits here, you're going to do exactly the same. So sort of pull those up. Give it a bit of tension because with fabric, you can really give it a good pull. So I'm just going to pull that right up. And you'll find the fabric might be a bit baggy around the box, but really give it a good pull just to get those lovely creases and lines. So I'm just at the moment just giving it a good pull. Lovely. So I'm sort of going to do part two now. So it's basically what we did, but on both sides. So again, with those two ends there, you're going to knot that as well. I'm being quite forceful is the word. You sometimes do the best wrapping when you're in a bad mood, believe me. When you're a bit stressed at Christmas, the wrapping, you're not scared. You're just like, I've got to get on with it. So yeah. I'm just going to put the last bit. We're all so busy at Christmas, aren't we? And I think particularly with what's going on, we are going to be super busy this year. Yes. With many of us being, more relaxed tiers, etc. And so what I've got here are, if you can sort of see there, I'm just going to go back a little bit. I'm going to get varying angles with the light. Okay, but I love that because you've got a bit of height in it as well. I've used white cotton here, but on this one here, I mean, I've used more of a sort of a linen and a canvas, so you could effectively use things like napkins as well. And like Shirley, you've got your scarf, but you could use even things like tea towels. Now, I haven't got a brand new tea towel. It is washed, so I just going to check it's okay. It's one that I bought in Provence, and I love that. So, I know it's not a square, but something like that, again, you get, a second present, which is great. So, brilliant.
Ghanaian fabric. Yeah, from Ghana, we always have fabric at home. So you, and
Yeah.
it's from cotton and really sturdy. So I tried with this one. It's just like a little bit too little.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love the you know the colours, and you know, sort of African fabrics are so cheerful. You can't help but smile when you see all those colours, and
Yeah.
you know, little decoration as well. So they look amazing. I can't wait to see your photos. They'll be
Yeah.
fantastic. One of the things I do tend to give as an emergency present, because I think we all have that situation where you have that horror show. I never forget one morning, Christmas morning, I woke up. I mean, my most dreaded thought ever. I'd forgotten to buy my mother a Christmas present. So can you imagine the horror when I realised? So, I mean, I winged it. I went straight online and probably bought about 4 magazine subscriptions and thought, I've got away with it, you know, and I'll give her an afternoon tea voucher as well. But I got away with it, and it was her way of making her relax because she runs around. So I'd luckily got a copy of Country Living at home. It was just sort of a magazine like that. And although it wasn't the most recent copy, what I actually did is typed something out on the computer and sort of did a voucher. But I wrapped up a magazine. So if you ever want to give a magazine subscription, it's quite a nice idea to buy the magazine, hopefully the up-to-date one. I'm actually going to use a scarf on this one. Let me just move it out of the way. So it's just sort of an old scarf that I'm going to use like that. Silk scarf, and all I do is roll the magazine up. Shirley, if you want to just chill out, you can, because I'm sort of doing this one off. I thought I'll slip this one in, but it's good to sort of just have a little bit of skinny ribbon. I'm just going to use ribbon or string. It's up to you. I've got all sorts of bits and bobs here. Here we go. So I love balls of string. I mean, there's usually about 100 meters on there, so they do go a long way. It's quite nice as well to use a little ribbon like that. I've got sort of a little gingham ribbon there. So, you know, whatever you want to use. So all I'm going to do is just roll the magazine up actually. And let me just make that there. So I'm just going to roll it up sort of into a little tube like that. Get my string. You could obviously tie on a gift tag at this point if you wanted to tie it in. You might be buying magazine subscriptions for everybody and want to put a little personal message on the inside, but obviously you will need, if there are a lot of gifts that are the same shape, i.e. magazines, you're going to need a tag on the outside unless you have a specific scarf or a specific fabric for a specific person. One good idea as well is, if you have got children, is to colour code their presents without any tags. I know that's super bad, isn't it? But you know, each child has their colour, no tags, so there's no peeking. Job done. So, I'm so cruel. Great. So with my scarf, I'm going to go face down. So that's at the front. That's the back. I'm going to go face down again, like a diamond. So you'll be able to see this one a bit clearer. Okay. And then I put my magazine subscription there. This is very similar actually to the first one we did. Super similar. And again, I just sort of roll it, fold it over like that. So I've got my little magazine here, and I'm going to start sort of rolling it towards the end, like that. And this sort of, what I call sort of corner bit, the pointed bit here, I just want to get rid of that. So what I tend to do is just fold that in like that. So you've got a flat edge just here, and I'm going to carry on rolling it in like so. And it's just like before, where you sort of lift it up. You might have enough to even do a bow on this. I don't know until I get going, but I'm literally going to go in like that, start tying it. Let me see if I've got enough. I think it's going to be tight, but let's give it a go. Oh, it is super tight. Love a challenge. Yeah, I can just about do it. So you can sort of see there, I've actually tied a little bow there. So, you know, it's amazing what you can do. There's a lot of companies now also doing, you know, specialising in fabric. The Fabric Wrapping Company, they're on Instagram. I love to see what they get up to. And you can also get, you know, things like this from, you know, department stores where you get fabric wrapping bags. So you sort of get the idea. I think that's from John Lewis. Again, they're great because they're reusable. I've also bought, you know, the little shopping bags you get, little tiny ones. I mean, rather than buy a gift bag, what I actually do is buy those hemp or those cotton gift bags and just tie some ribbon on the handles. And that is a gift bag come shopping bag, so which you can reuse and reuse. Brilliant. So I'm now going to move on to a little bit about box wrapping without using a bit of paper here, because I know that you all know how to wrap a box, but we are going to wrap maybe hundreds, maybe thousands. Certainly in my case, I probably wrap with my team, I would say about normally 6,000 to 7,000 items a year. So it's quite a lot. And it's just super helpful if you can look at a sheet or a roll of paper and you know exactly how much you need. So that's sort of quite a skill to have. And also it cuts waste and saves you money as well. So I think I'm going to just slot this bit in. I'm not going to teach to suck eggs. This is more just a helpful pointer for you. So I'm going to go over here. So I've now got hand and lip kit. Oh my goodness, always need hand cream. Yes. Never know when I'm getting my hands photographed, and so that's perfect there. I'm going to use paper, a little bit of paper. Now, when you're measuring, I'm just going to grab a sheet of paper here. This is actually one of my own papers from my collection. I'm going to use that only because it's reversible, so it's quite easy for you to see on screen, and I love to sort of mix and match the paper there. What I'm going to do is just talk to you about measuring, because I think where people go wrong when they're wrapping a box, they have a sheet of paper and often they think, I'm going to use the whole sheet and get my money's worth. That's about the worst thing to do, because you're fighting with the paper and it's bulky at the sides. So I am just literally having a look here thinking I've got this enormous sheet. Now, if I sort of leave it there, I'm going to be cutting a bit off there. I'm going to be cutting a bit off there, maybe this side as well. There's a lot of little cuts. So the way that I measure my paper to avoid much waste is I'm thinking, I know I've got loads to go this way, but have I got enough if I were to turn the wrapping around? I'm just going to turn it around that way. Have I got enough to go round that way, which I have? I mean, it's tight. And so all I do is just push the box down to the end, okay? I'm effectively going to be cutting a strip down, but the important thing is when you are measuring, let me just turn it around here, you want to lift the paper up so it goes no higher than the top of the box. I'm just going to just do that. If I just lift it up to the camera, and then you'll get a close-up. Can you see there's a little bit of the yellow box just peeking at the side? So that's absolutely fine. But what you don't want to do is have loads of paper going above the top of the box. And then all I do is use my hand as a measuring tool, because you've never got a tape measure. So I'm just sort of measuring there, thinking that is about 3.5 fingers. So I literally get the same the other side, and I just measure the other side. So I'm literally just going to just get my fingers like that. That is your perfect measurement. So let me just cut here. Just going to pop that out the way there. You always start off so tidy, don't you, when you're wrapping? And then for me, everything just gets thrown to one side. So with the sides, you can sort of see I've measured both sides like so. Wow. So you can see a little bit of the box. The main thing is, as long as you're over halfway, but you're not going above the top of the box. So if you get this happening where you've got paper, you know, at the top of the box, it's too long, just cut it and get rid of it. And then all I'm doing is just making sure I've got quite a sort of a small overlap. Okay, so I'm not going round and round the present. I'm also going, whilst I'm at this stage here, you need to get your ribbon or your string or your raffia, whatever you're using, ready, because we're not going to use any tape at all on this. And you've got to have that ready because you'll run out of hands. And what's a good idea when you are choosing your ribbons and your paper is, I get my bit of paper. I've got a whole selection of ribbons here in my little tray like that. I've got all sorts of ribbons there. I'm going to go down the green line. So I've got little ribbons here, and what I do is literally just grab the ribbons and think, you know, what's going to go with that really well. I might just go with this bright one here like that and tie in some greenery with it. So if you're wrapping with no tape, a little tip is to get the positioning right, because if you think about when you buy a gift bag, you've never got the seam going right through the centre. It's always disguised on a corner, and I love to do that with wrapping, so you get that seamless gift. So I'm actually going to have this side. I think it really complements the colours actually of the item that I'm wrapping, so I'm going to go with that side instead. So face down, and I get my Burt's Bees set like that, and I literally grab the end here. Now it doesn't matter whether it's that way up or you turn it upside down. People open presents in different ways, so I'm not too fussed. And I literally bring it up and over like that. And what I've done, if I just bring it really close there, I've sort of taken the edge of the paper, as you can see, to the edge of the box. I've got it all lined up. Okay. Helping little hand as well is with your finger and thumb is just to sort of crease the paper actually a little bit like that. And I bring that side up and over. I'm just going to do some sort of creases at the moment. Now this is quite important because eventually you're going to be sort of holding the paper together around the present. And if it's a larger box like this, your hand probably won't be big enough. So by sort of doing all this creasing, you want it to be a bit more manageable. So at the moment, if I just show you, I've got 4 very faint creases. Now you can probably just see it with the light there. I'm just going to get different angles. Okay, and that's the reverse. Okay, where those 4 lines are, I actually fold the paper over so I get those really sort of crisp lines. This really helps. You know, I'm not stringing this out. This really helps you, as you will see a bit later on. Because obviously if I leave it as it is and I start putting the paper around, the paper just undoes itself and then, you know, you're struggling. So by doing these lines, it will be a lot more manageable. You'll see in just a second. So I'm going to go around like that. So I'm dying to know how many people at home are wrapping and joining in on the fun. You know, don't forget, tag us all in at Burt's Bees UK, and also the hashtag is Burt's Moments of Joy. So please keep the photos coming in. We want to see what you're doing. I love a bit of interaction and a bit of humour as well. So I've got those super crisp lines now, and I've got nothing in it, but you can see that lovely sort of definition like that. Really lovely definition. Okay. And I find when I put the box back in now, it should hopefully nearly hold around the present. So it might come undone. So far, so good. That's a good start. Okay. Fantastic. And then with the sides, you do need to sort of have your hand a bit like a paperweight at the top. But what I do is I never work in front of me here, because certainly if you're what I call a stand-up gift wrapper, so you might be standing at the kitchen table or, you know, a sideboard, you don't want to be sort of crouching down. If I stand up, my head will probably go off screen. But you don't want to be sort of bending down and getting really bad backache. And certainly when I'm wrapping in stores, I say to myself and my team, look after your posture, because you've only got one back. So I always work at the end that I can't see. So if I just rotate this around, so I'm obviously facing this end, but I'm going to work at the other end just here that I can't see. So try not to peek. Just, I know it's tempting to have a little look. Again, you're getting bad posture. So all I'm doing, I'll do this at the side, is I'm just going to that end, pushing the top down with my 2 fingers, and I crease it as I go along. I lift it up to the camera so you can get a close up. So yeah, all I've done is just literally push it over like that and just crease everything as we go along like that, and that little bit there. And then rotate it around and do the same the other side. So just push it down. And if ever you push it down and it catches, it's too long, and that's why you measured the sides. If you remember, we saw a little bit of the yellow box peeking out. That's why we do this. So you could be watching your favourite movie. We could be chatting away to Shirley on the camera, saying hello. I'm not actually looking what I'm doing, you know, eyes shut. And this is skill to have. So once you've got the hang of it, I know it feels really awkward at the moment, but after I think you've done 2 or 3 boxes, you'll be able to sit and watch your favourite movie, chat to your family, whoever you're with over the Christmas and the holidays. So you get to this stage here, like that. So I've sort of pushed the sides down. I am super OCD about boxes, Shirley. I'm just like, it's got to look amazing. I need to get a life, really.
No. Is gifting a love language?
I don't know. I've just always loved gifting, and it's one of those things. I just so much joy, and I don't know how you feel, but I think we've all had a bit of a rough year, and I think we're not necessarily going to be spending more money because a lot of us haven't got the money. But I think to make a bit more effort in presentation doesn't cost the earth, and it just you can make someone feel so special just with those little touches and elements. Okay, I don't know how you're getting on. I'm going to carry on. So I'm going to pull in one.
I'm following because usually I have fabric. So I'm just looking at you. And when I do it with paper, usually every time I move the paper around and it doesn't look as neat as yours. So I'm just like checking your technique. So I'm just learning now.
I'll speed up. So yeah, I'm literally just creasing everything as I go along there like that. Rotate it around. Off we go. We'll head back to fabric shortly. I've got to have my paper fix. So I get to that stage like that. So you can sort of see the seam on the edge, but I'm not too worried about that. If I turn it over very gently, we got to that stage there. Now I have got these sort of 2 quite sharp edges just here and here. So what I'm going to do is, if I come sort of quite close up to the camera, I know it's quite a pattern paper. I'm just going to push the side down. Now, it's going to look a little bit like the side, or the back, I should say, of an envelope. Because an envelope, you've got that bit where you sort of lick it and stick it down and put a card in. You've got a little V at each side, okay? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is fold the end under, sort of hopefully in the middle of the V. Now, what I'll do, if I do this and then I'll bring it up, it should make a bit of sense in a moment, but I just need to get started with this. So I'm just going to fold it back in the middle of that V. The paper's too busy. I've got some examples behind me that I can grab and bring up to the camera, so because I realise it's quite a busy paper. So I have got, I don't know if you can see the little V just here. Yeah. So I folded it back. If I go at different angles so you can all get a good look, in the middle of that V. So it looks a bit ugly because I've just folded it out, and then I fold it under. And by doing that, you should get sort of the perfect match both sides. Now, I think this is going to be quite a busy one to see. I'm going to grab a more simple box that I can find that I've done this. Let me grab one. I'm just going to slide the bow off on this one. This should be a bit easier to see on the eye. But if you can see there, I folded it in the middle of that V there, like that. I just find, little things like that, presentation is key. It just makes such a difference. So again, I'm going to do the same the other side, like so. Just fold it out, fold it under. You're ready to go, actually, to add the string or the ribbon. So I've literally got to that stage there, like that. Just rotate it around so you can see it.
It's amazing. No tape.
Thank you. Yeah, no tapes. I mean, it is sort of holding to, and I don't know about everybody at home, but I did used to iron my wrapping paper and recycle it. I know, but I grew up on a farm. I didn't live anywhere near the shops at all, so I just had to make do with what I've got. And I suppose I've always been like that, really. I don't know about you. I'm going to use this ribbon here, and I'm just going to super quickly chat about the perfect bow. That is the biggest thing I ever get asked on my one-day courses. The first question says, Jane, will you teach us the perfect bow? And I've just launched an online course, and I've probably spent a good, I would say, 25-minute tutorial so everybody gets it, because it is a bit of a technical skill to do it.
For now, looks like. I need you.
Okay, we're there. Right, so there's 2 sorts of bowing techniques, as I call it. So you've got the one like you've just done there, Shirley. So I've got that one there where I've done, I don't know if you can see the back, I've gone that way and that way. Okay. If you are running short of materials or you're trying to save money or be less wasteful, you can always just go round just the once, because I think that bow looks really neat and tidy. If I just bring the two together. So you have got a couple of options, but obviously that one, you know, you're a little bit more eco-friendly because you're using less ribbon. I use ribbon for loads of things, you know. I think little tiny bits, you know, I attach to keys. That's one thing. I use it for bookmarks, you know, all sorts of things. You can even make tiny little bows. I haven't got time today to do that, but on my Instagram, you'll see some little reels and videos of those bows, and they're brilliant. So nothing gets thrown away in my little studio or my home. I'm such a hoarder. Okay. So the perfect bow, if you are doing a little crossroads, what I do, I'm going to use a brighter ribbon here so you can see, but I just sort of measure it against my hand. So I'm going to sort of open my hand out, and you want sort of quite what I call a big hand span. So, you know, don't sort of have your hands quite small like that. You need to really properly spread them out. And I'd say a hand span and a little bit more. So that little bit more is probably about 1 inch or 3 centimetres. So it's quite a good size. That is the equivalent, just so you know, of half a bow. So you're thinking, what are you talking about? But if you think of a bow, it consists of 2 sort of loops and 2 tails, and it normally looks like the letter X if it's tied correctly. Let me just grab that again, just to reference it. So yeah, you've got your 2 loops here, 1, 2, and then your 2 tails at the bottom, and it does look a bit like the letter X. So you've got there and there. Okay. So that is what we're aiming for. I get my hand span of ribbon and I literally drop it into the middle of the box. So if I just lift this up, so literally with my hand span there, it's in the middle of the box. Okay. I never turn the box over. I literally just lift it up and down like that. And I keep the ribbon on the roll. So I haven't cut it at all yet. I've just sort of kept it on the roll. And I go around the box. Lovely. So I go around like that. So I've just gone around the box just the once. Okay. And then I literally sort of do this rotation. So with my arms, I literally do that with the ribbon. So 1 ribbon in each hand, do a little rotate. Like that. So I'm just going to lift this up. So I've just have done that twist. I'm still on the end of the ribbon there, on the roll, as you can see. I'm still attached to it. And then I go around the box, underneath, back round to the top. And then that sort of first bit that I measured, I then measure the second bit. Getting a bit of a twist here. So I don't know if you can see there. So I'm just measuring the other bit. I'm still attached to the roll. And then I'm just going to cut it. Another little tip I would suggest is designate a certain pair of scissors for ribbon. Keep them super sharp. I actually bought these. They weren't expensive. They were from somewhere like Tiger, but you know, you could just buy them from even a pound shop. They don't have to be expensive, but just don't start cutting paper. I always cut the ribbon at an angle just so it doesn't fray. Unlike the fabric wrapping, I actually don't want the ribbon to fray. So I've got to that stage there. Okay. So if I just lift that up. So I've got this stage here where that's the first bit I started with. When you have cut the other bit, what I'm doing is effectively just coming over and I'm sort of hooking it in and going back where I've come from. Okay, so if I just have to go on the toe for this bit. So I'm going to get the end like that. I'm flying over the top. I'll tell you what, let me swap hands so you can see. Going over the top and then just hooking it in. The reason for that is so you can pull the ribbon nice and tight and it doesn't collapse. That's what you're doing. And that's how you get the flat base as well, like that. Okay. If all the bits and pieces that I'm using on my own. So I've got my own ribbon collections and paper. I haven't done it yet, but if anybody wants any, I'll set up a promo code. Just put Berts in capitals for 25%. I haven't set it up yet. I've literally just thought I'm going to just do that promo code when we've finished. Let me just make a note of what the promo code is actually. Berts. Okay, so tying the perfect bow. Shirley, how do you find your bows? Are you sort of, I know you said I'm not very happy and I need help, but is there a certain bit you struggle with? Is it the sort of pulling tight and then it's all going in different directions?
Exactly, that's the part. Yeah.
Okay. So my top tip for everybody, because we all, I think, tie bows and shoelaces in different ways. So, I mean, some of us, and I think most of us in the UK, we tend to do sort of a one loop at a time like that, and then we go and do the second loop. I don't know about you, Shirley, but I've done sort of courses overseas. I haven't actually done any in Africa, but certainly in sort of Europe and Asia, and even, you know, parts of the States. A lot of people do what I call the two loops. If I just do this and bring it up to the camera, you know, where you've got the two little loops like that. So a lot of people do that. So it doesn't matter whether you're a one looper or a two looper, but all I would say is that moment when you're about to pull the bow tight, stop. Just don't rush it. I'll do this on purpose and make this look hideous. Let me just go through there. So I'm just going to lift this up so you can see that looks truly terrible. I've got a big loop here, a little loop. I've got bits of ribbon going all over the place.
Yeah.
So this is sort of your opportunity to basically give it a tidy up whilst it's loose, okay? Because if you pull that tight, that's exactly what your bow will look like. So whilst it's loose, I'm just going to sort of try and do this here. Right, let me just bring it up to the camera. So whilst it's loose, I'm reducing that loop there. I'm just going to just reduce it in size. And I'm trying to, wish me luck, I'm trying not to drop it. I'm trying to sort of get it a little bit like the letter X. I'm not far off. Let me just do it again. So I'm still really loose, but that is not looking too bad at the moment. If I just come a little bit nearer. Okay, so I'm still really loose. You can see it's all baggy at the sides. But once you're quite happy how it looks when it's loose, you can then go ahead and pull it tight. So that is really your perfect bow. If I just sort of lift that there. So you've got that letter X like so. And if you were to add some greenery or a decoration, I mean, I'm probably going to add that little bit there. Good little tip is actually to tie the decoration in first, because you've got your hands full when you're trying to tie a bow and then get a decoration in. So what I always do is sort of start from that little bit there that we started with, and I tie my little finger. I just drop it in like that, tie my little finger. Not too tight before it goes blue. There we go. Tied my little finger in like that. And then just get my finger out. You could add in your sticks or, you know, decorations. And, you know, I love these little decorations. I've sort of got these berries that I have. And I love those. They're just so sweet. And, I mean, if you're being really conservative, you could just, you know, pull, you know, this into 3 mini bunches rather than one big bunch. So the other thing I do as well, I love, is fresh foliage. So I've raided, because I'm back in London, I haven't got access to a country walk, and I hadn't got any herbs because I've not been here for the whole of lockdown. So my poor window box has been decimated, but I did manage to get some ivy yesterday. So I love these ivy leaves, and you can get these, you know, on city walks as well as country walks. And if you've got a Sharpie pen, I've got a metallic Sharpie pen here, you can actually write on the tag the recipient's name. So that makes a really good eco-friendly gift tag. So you could sort of obviously tie that in. So I'm going to just tie that in. So you've got that sort of effectively as your gift tag. Probably going to add the dried greenery in instead. But certainly dried flowers, I know you're using them as well, Shirley, are making a massive comeback, because I think, you know, they are very eco-friendly, and they, you know, held carefully and not sort of damaged, again, they will go on and on. And I've also tied things in like wheat. I've got one here, my backdrop. So this is great for, say, somebody who's a farmer's daughter, which I am. So the little wheat head, just here, you can see it. I'll just do it at an angle. So that's sort of great autumnal birthday as well. But obviously you could spray it gold or white or whatever colour. So you tie your decoration, and then I'm going to just finish off with the bow. Like that. Just going to undo that. Do the bow. I'm just going to do a little time check. Where has the time gone? Oh my goodness.
When you're having fun, like no time.
I know. So yeah, we are nearly out of time, but I think, we've got plenty covered. So
yeah, really happy.
So Shirley, can you remind us of your Instagram handle?
Yes, it's the Coco Dolls, with 2 L and 2 Z at the end. And yeah, it's all about beauty and lifestyle.
Brilliant. And you can follow me. I'm at Jane Means. And if you head onto the Burt's Bees Instagram handle at Burt's Bees UK, you'll actually see Shirley and I tagged in. So we would love to see what you are doing. But that is our box there with no tape and all done. So, but we have really enjoyed being with you today. What a lovely Sunday to do, to be here rapping away. Thank you, Shirley. You've been such a good sport.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And thank you, please, for having us. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And happy rapping. And dare we say it, happy Christmas. Happy holiday. Brilliant.